Cardano is cornering like it's on rails, guys. Cardano360 this month let us know that everything appears to be perfectly on track. Ready? Let's go. When you're in the last 100 meters of a race, there are these conflicting emotions: elation, exhaustion, and a strong desire to not trip before you cross the finish line. This Cardano 360 convinced me that we're not going to trip. I know I've talked about this before, but I really don't think the Cardano 360 team gets enough credit. This is really technical material that only a pretty niche audience in the entire world of crypto cares about. And the entire world of crypto is a very niche audience in the entire world. But they do a really good job at this. I know I've described them as looking like a hit team from the Kingsmen who could go out and attack a bunch of bad guys with like very high-tech umbrellas, but that's only because Triple H has the glasses. But when I see them go through all their material, and it was really obvious in this episode that everybody involved with Cardano has been working really hard. You could see it in their faces. They even mentioned that they have kind of had to work through the weekends to make these deadlines. You can see they're working really hard at something they care about, something they really love and they're passionate about. They want to see what this Cardano ecosystem becomes. And I think they know they're a part of something really special right now. But when I watch it, it's almost, I'm starting to think it's more like watching a council of professors at Hogwarts or something. You've got Kevin Hammond. Check this out. Kevin Hammond was there at the birth of Haskell. He was a member of the Haskell committee, and he produced the first Haskell compiler implementation at Glasgow University. He watched Haskell become a thing, and now he's helping to shepherd Haskell into being the foundations of a system that could run whole societies and governments. I would guess that's probably pretty fulfilling for him to watch something like this happen over the course of 35 years in his career. I think we all remember his dry erase board. Somebody noticed in one of the previous Cardano 360s that it was like, the road, his development roadmap, and like one of the final steps was like take over the world or conquer the world or something. But as fulfilling as it is, I'm sure for him, it's even more comforting to know that somebody like him who can truly claim expertise, deep expertise in Haskell, is a part of this project and so involved. Then you've got the rest of the team here. Obvious that they're very tired and probably exhausted, but seeing the smiles lets me know that there is no impending doom that's being kept secret from us. It really looks like a team of people who know exactly what's going on in the project and are close to the finish line of a big victory. We all know this is going to be the birth of just the next phase in Cardano. This isn't really a finish line. This is going to be the birth of the next phase. But I think these smiles betray that they know they're about to achieve something pretty big. Then you've got Tim Harrison. He's worked with Visa, Vodafone, EA, and Sony. I don't think you could possibly find a better spokesperson for our project. If Tim Harrison called me up and was like, hey, we need to go to Eastern Europe and fight these bad guys who are holding Charles hostage, I'd be like, okay, when's the flight? He's very good spokesperson for our project. I don't think we could possibly have a better person trying to take us through these hour-long videos where he tries to sum up this decentralized project with all these different actors doing different things, and they're all super technical, and half the audience isn't even going to understand the nomenclature. I think these guys do a fantastic job in the Cardano 360 episodes, and they probably do not get enough credit. Let's face it, there are a lot of people in the crypto sphere, the crypto space, who have not yet adopted Cardano. That's super obvious. And there are probably a lot of people who tune in to these Cardano 360 episodes sort of on the fence, not knowing like, hey, Cardano's gotten really huge. What's going on over there? Maybe I should take a look at this. And I think if when they see these Cardano 360 episodes, they probably look at this crew and they're like, wow, these are highly competent professionals, very sober, and they're giving me a complete rundown on these minute details in the project. And these guys are obviously all sold. If these kinds of professionals are sold on Cardano, that's probably giving a lot of people the confidence that they can jump into. So thank you so much for everything you guys have already done, Cardano360 team. Even with all of these different pieces in Cardano having to be finalized in concert, the summary is that everything is going great and they're perfectly on track to fork the testnet on September 1st. They're describing that final testnet as a dress rehearsal to monitor stability and fix any issues before mainnet. There are also a lot of partners involved. We're talking about 140 exchanges and over 100 third parties in the ecosystem. Then Kevin Hammond gave up an interesting little tidbit. He said they have a whole team working on costs. And when he says costs, he's talking about transaction fees. They're trying to figure out what the perfect transaction fees should be in the Cardano ecosystem. And they're looking at different scenarios, swaps, all kinds of things. We're using stable coins, all kinds of things. And he said they have a spreadsheet with sort of like those projected numbers as they finalize them. And he even teased the third component of Triple H, Nigel, because apparently it's Kevin Hammond described it as one of the most closely held secrets inside Cardano. And apparently even Nigel doesn't know. But he said that there's a spreadsheet and that would be made public soon so that developers can start planning for exactly what those costs are. But he did say that they were significantly lower than some of Cardano's biggest competitors. So you can only assume that means Ethereum. No surprise, the costs are way lower than Ethereum. If the costs came out and they were not way lower than Ethereum, I think that would be a huge fail. I think we could maybe just we'd have to make a plan B. There'd have to be a very serious pivot towards a plan B, and we'd have to be assured that something amazing was coming along to fix that. Because a big piece of the premise here is that we're fixing the fee problem in Ethereum, and it certainly sounds like they're going to do that based on what Kevin Hammond said here. We also got to meet Tor Abrams of HackerOne, and there was an interesting announcement. HackerOne is a company that attempts to tap into the world of ethical hackers out there and help some of the biggest companies in the world, like GM here, to stress test their systems and identify vulnerabilities before the non-ethical hackers do it for them. There's going to be a bug bounty in Cardano, and Tor let us know how it's going to work. If anyone can identify a vulnerability, they can submit that vulnerability to HackerOne. HackerOne will then evaluate that vulnerability. And if they agree there's a vulnerability there and it hasn't been reported yet, they'll have a schedule of rewards from Cardano, depending on how severe the vulnerability was, and you can get paid out for it. They announced that bug bounty is starting today. So if you know of vulnerabilities in Cardano, I'd say jump on it, and you can get in touch with HackerOne and maybe get rewarded for your efforts. By the way, doesn't this dude have the perfect name to be in decentralized tech? His name is literally the acronym for the Onion Router. I have no idea if that's his real first name, but it's cool. We also got to hear a little bit from Singularity Net. They talked about their DynaSets, which are going to be diversified baskets of crypto assets that'll be managed by Singularity DAO's AI. And I believe they said that at first it won't be 100% AI managed, but it sounds like the goal is to get to AI portfolio management, which if you believe in the same future for artificial intelligence that people like Elon Musk do, and I think a lot of you probably do, that could obviously have some pretty profound effects. Then we heard from Elliot Hill, the new head of communications at Occam. I don't know how new he is, but he was new to me. And he did a great job. This is another dude who is a great spokesperson for the organization he represents. So OccamFi, you'll remember in the early days, OccamFi took a little bit of flack. They took a little bit of flack in the sort of Cardano sphere on social media. And, a lot of it was related to the fact that a lot of people wanted to get in on OccamFi right at the start, and they couldn't because of the way that whole introduction went. I'm choosing my words carefully here. But something subsequent to that has happened that was brought up in this interview. We can see here on the IOHK blog that OccamFi is one of the companies that the cFund has invested in. What is the cFund? Well, as the URL of their website, cfund.vc, clearly indicates, they are a VC firm. They call themselves an early stage sector agnostic venture firm in the blockchain industry, anchored by IOHK and managed by Wave Financial. So this is a VC firm anchored by IOHK. And you can see here, Charles is one of the senior advisors. Elliot talked a little bit about their Occam Razor Launchpad, their OCC token, their incubator, which I think they call the accelerator, and their DEX. And honestly, I think this is one of the best. I think this is one of the best presentations that we've really seen out of Occam. I think the Cardano community is going to receive this type of presentation from Occam maybe a lot better than some of their previous efforts. There was a lot more in this Cardano 360 on the ERC20 converter and a Catalyst update. Dor actually made a pretty funny joke right at the start of his Catalyst update. They asked him how things were going in Catalyst, and they were like, "What's going on in Catalyst?" And he was like, "Not much." And then he just like paused as if he wasn't going to say anything. That was pretty good. I don't know if it translated well over video to everybody, but I thought it was a pretty good attempt at humor. But I strongly suggest you watch this. But we all know the big one is coming next month, when there won't be a Cardano 360, because we're going to have the Cardano Summit 2021. Talk to you tomorrow.